some metals concentrations, and then studied the change in metabolomic profiling brassica through NMR, and then bucketed that NMR data for PC analysis. Then I developed myself a mock data. It's not the real data for antioxidant activity and DPPH scavenging activity. Our NMR data is the original one in this example. Our antioxidant and DPPH scavenging activity data is a mock data. It's not a real data. I just developed it by myself. And for example, it's okay, it's fine. So we have X variable and we have Y variable. Now if we have this by default PLS, we can edit the same, click edit, click same, and then we can change it from here, or we can generate a new as PLS. This, if we generate a new as, you will observe in this model window, you will see at the project window, you will see it that if I click on new as this one, so it will be a new model, and we will retain the previous the original model as well. So I did new as, and I said okay, variables, and these are our variables, all are the X variables, we can see it, and these are our Y variables. If it's not selected in the start where I mentioned it, then we can select these variables here and categorize these as Y. The missing values are here already there in start, as these values were 0, so we opted to not to include and exclude these. For observations, we can develop our own classes here. So if we do a classes here, we select the class 1 and class 2, then we get we can do PLSDA. But here, if I just click on this drop down menu, I don't see OPLSDA or O2PLSDA, the discriminant analysis. So if I just select on OPLS or O2PLS, okay, that a two-way interaction of X and Y, if there is, then we select O2PLS and let's select it, and then okay, we can scale also in the same sheet. Select, we can do Control A for selecting all, or we can select our desired one, like okay, we do all the UV scaling from here, type UV scaling, but which is default one, but the last two components we say these Y variables must be scaled to central, and we set it, it will be different from the other variables. So UV scaling set, and this we can play with this data set here in this window, and O2PLS, and we say okay, and then out of it again it has generated two variables, the two components, principal components. We can add more if we like. This is 88.5% and this is 97 point something. Then we do a summary of it. So this is a loading scatter plot. And then we have a score scatter plot. You can have it. We can have from analyze and by plot. We can simply right click, go to properties, change the label style, primary, secondary, colors, or we can right click and then go to format plot and do the axes and grid lines and background, titles, and any other change in style, labels, etc. So we can always play. A very good option in SIMCA is this one, what if. So we click on predict and then what if. So here we can select a variable, any of the x variable, because we have the y here. So let's select any of the x variable just randomly. Let's select 5.76, and then we have a range of higher range or low range. Okay, so from this range to this range, if we do it, so if I click on it and then drag it to any other range, so you see it shows us an effect of on of this variable on a whole model. So if I leave it and then extend it, so the original is this one with the gray marks. I can zoom it. This is the original data, and this is our change data, the blue one is that what the data we change here in what if, that okay, if we change it then how it works. So it's very good option. There are a number of other things in predict and in other options. You can explore it, or I will have my further lectures on it later on. So we have now OPLS. So let's try for OPLS DA. So new as we click on workset and then observations, and let's the copper 500. We make it or set the class as class 1, and then the iron the class, all the different concentration of iron we set it in class 2, and then all the different concentrations of manganese we set it to class 3, and then the control we set it as class 4. Then it is showing now OPLSDA or O2PLSDA. So if we select any one of these, this is OPLSDA, and then we click on OK, and we have to do AutoFit again, and then we can have an overview plot of it. So this is the difference, the control, the manganese, the iron, and the copper. And if we do if we see the loading plot of this, I just clicked on the loading home and then loading, we see the classes here. And the same analyze and then by plot, again we see the classes here. I just clicked here O2PLS, and we can add it also, add it as O2PLS to, let's make it the classes observations copper in one class, iron in second class, manganese in third class, and control in fourth class. And let's do it O2PLSDA. Once again I have to do AutoFit, and then summary of it, and it is same. So the scaling of data can be done at the same window also, like we did, or whenever we do the edit. If we couldn't do it, then I can edit that specific model and then select it from scale, and then we select and change the scale again. We can change the colors. We can copy it. Just click on right click and then copy it, the plot. We can remove these grid lines. We can change this by double clicking the axis, the titles of axis, and can always play with it.